All right. So we are going live now. Um, just let me know in the chat if you can't hear me. The chat is enabled, but please keep it civil. Don't make me shut it off. All right. So should be fixed now. Sorry, I just had the push to talk button was goofed up, and it's fixed now. So um, all right. So overall, um, if you can hear me, I guess just put in the chat if you can't hear me. Um, you know, we're good. So just one quick thing about like the voting thing. So I made the Google form, and a lot of people came up with some ideas about what they wanted to see get made, and overwhelming the one that was most requested was a dog. And one person specifically requested a corgi. So I figured, that's a dog. I guess we might as well do that. So, um, yeah. So without any further ado, we're just going to go ahead and do it. And this is actually a great one because I can also show you guys how to do a logo. I've actually made quite a few logos. Just for some like gamer friends and that sort of thing. For example, my nickname among my gamer friends is Taco, so I made this little taco logo. So that's mine, and all my friends actually have their own individual ones. And logos are interesting to make because they're one of the things that I think is a good intermediate step into becoming good at making things for 3D printing. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So we've got this corgi, and here we've got a lot of curves. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different tools that you can use to make curves. You can do it freehand. However, if your freehanding is anything like mine, like you could, oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. But you could try it, but it's going to end up looking, kind of squiggly. So we don't want that. We want nice curved lines. So we're going to use this arc tool. Now, there's a bunch of different types of arcs, and the one that I like most is this one, the 2-point arc, but I will show you how the 1-point arc, the regular arc works. So the way the regular arc works is you're basically going to pick a center point, and it's going to give you this circle tool. This is the same tool that they use for rotations if you want to rotate something. And if you click on a point of it, you can actually rotate and make a circle, but you can also make, an arc based off of how far you want to take it. Now, if you make a smaller distance, it'll be a tighter arc. If you make it longer distance, it'll be a much softer arc. So if you've ever used a compass in math, not the compass that tells you what direction north is, but use the compass that tells you enables you to make a perfect circle. Um, that's basically how this works. Now, that one is great for doing some things. It's not perfect for what we want to do. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do the 2-point arc. So I'm going to grab this up here. This 2-point arc is the second tool on there, and I'm going to show you why we use this one. Now, on another note, doing logos, I would always recommend that you start from the inside and work your way out. And the reason being is because when you make any shape, and I'll even just show you with a line here. SketchUp is a pretty smart program, but sometimes it does smart things that you don't want it to do. So if you make an enclosed shape, what it will do is it will actually turn it gray. Now, that's great and all, but say you make a shape over something that's got smaller details underneath it and it covers it all up. Now you can't see. And you could try deleting it and doing a bunch of other things, but that's more steps. So we want to keep it simple. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. So we want to start from the inside, work our way out. So we're going to start with this one with the eyes. So now this is just me. I like to zoom in nice and close on the smaller details with these just so that way it's easier to draw. So we're going to get right up on this eye. So let's grab this 2-point arc. Now what I'm going to do is I want the arc to do this bottom part. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab it right at the edge of the pixels, move it across, see how that red reference line came up? Click right there and drag it down till it's about close. Now, when you're doing small details, if you want to be very precise, obviously that's great, but it can if you spend too much time messing with it, it could just, take forever. So now what we're going to do is I want to continue this over. So I'm going to go ahead and click. And now, if you draw an arc, sometimes it will give you kind of a preview. That doesn't mean that's where it's going, because like when I click, I can actually move it either direction. Now I do want to show you something. Let's see if I can get it to do that again. All right, see how it turned blue right there? When it turns blue like that, it means I'm on that blue vertical axis. So if you're curious with what just happened, if I look, I've messed up my geometry here. So you always have to be very careful when drawing on the face of an object to work right. It's you want to pay special close attention to it. So um, what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo that, and we're just gonna go ahead and start tracing this out. Now, I'm gonna try and basically do this as fast as I can, but there is a lot of detail, so it might take me a while. I will be reading the comments as time goes on. Remember that you guys are like on a minute delay, so if it sounds like I'm answering a question or something like that late, it's just because there's a delay. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just gonna keep doing all these arcs. I've been doing this a while, so I'm reasonably fast at it. So we can do softer bends too. Okay, so that warning that just popped up there, go ahead and make that full screen so you guys can see it better. Let me try that again just so you can see it. If an arc doesn't have enough, if it's too soft of a bend, sometimes it won't go, so you just need to try it again. So we're just gonna I'm gonna try and do this as fast as I can, just so this stream doesn't turn into an hour-long stream like the last one did. Yeah, when that warning popped up there. There we go, watch that blue axis. Now, whenever you draw something, I'd always check, because see that little mistake I made there? So if you make a mistake, it's okay. Happy little accidents, as Bob Ross says. And go ahead. We'll try this again. Let's see if it'll let us do it. There we go. So there's one eye. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but you remember this is only going to be that, big across at the end of. Oh, I forgot the one from yesterday. If you watch the video, the cup holder is uh, or the excuse me, the holder I made for storing those mats. It printed about halfway, and then the machine decided that it no longer wanted to be a 3D printer. It wanted to be a cotton candy machine. So it made a really big mess. But nonetheless, I already restarted it, so we'll see if it doesn't complete here in a little while. Sometime when I went to sleep last night, it decided to mess up, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and continue. I'm gonna try and do this as fast as I can. There we go. This one might be a little bit tricky. Yeah, making good use of that arc tool, that's for sure. Now with this part, I'm actually going to just do lines. There we go. If you end up making extra lines, just make use of that Control Z. Let's go ahead and hey guys, this part might take a while, a little longer than I anticipated. I'm gonna try and go as fast as I can though. I don't want this to be an hour-long stream either. All right. So real quick, while I'm doing this, guys, what games have you guys been playing during this whole lockdown? I've been playing a lot of that Dauntless game, which I think is really fun. Right, let's look here. Looking pretty good. Right, let's fix the arc. Just trying to do this as efficiently as possible. All right. All right, so this is going to create a shape there. Cool, so that one's done. Now I'm going to keep this other part open so I can get the interior geometry there here in a second, but we're going to go ahead and do the white part now. All right, this part I'm just going to do lines. Oops. I'm going to try and be as fast with this as I can, guys, so it's not going to be probably as detailed as I'd like it to be. On a side note, guys, I hope everyone's staying healthy, washing their hands. I'd hate to hear about, any of you guys getting sick. Make sure practicing proper social distancing and all that. I know it can be kind of boring being inside, but, it's for the betterment of everyone. But, that's life. I'm going to go ahead and use the line tool on this part, just because it's kind of giving me a hard time. So I'm moving. I've had a lot of practice, so I can switch in between the tools and stuff a lot. Oops. Very quickly. Someone made a Minecraft server with 50 people at once. That sounds awesome. I have not played Minecraft in way too long. That's a fun game. I actually bought it originally in the alpha back when I mean I bought it on a website where I had to pay in euros because it hadn't actually had a English like a US English version of the it's like an OG, but I used to play on it. Funny enough, fun fact, a lot of army guys I was in the army with actually played that game. Reason being is because it was cheap. That was before the era of, Fortnite and all that stuff where everything was free. So it was cheap, and there was a lot of guys who actually really liked making stuff. Oops, I pushed the wrong tool. There we go. This is giving me a hard time. Let's try something. See if we can go from this corner. Really excited about how this corgi is going to turn out. Briley, you made a Pac-Man game on Scratch? That's awesome. I really love Scratch. That's a great program. Um, I'm really glad that, when I was a kid, I would have absolutely given anything to have a class where I could have, done coding and all that really cool stuff. All right, so I've got all the inside details mostly done, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on the outside. Go to the curve tool for this one. Yeah, that curve tool makes things, I mean, it can be tricky sometimes, but it does make, you know, it's either that or it makes things much more uniform, but it can be kind of tricky, but it's overall much better. That's not really perfect, but you know what? We're gonna deal with it. We're gonna keep rolling. We'll see how it works at the end. And I can always go back and edit this file before I print it. That's the cool thing about doing stuff on computers like this. You can always go back and do it again. But some other examples of logos I made that were for 3D printing. I just have some friends who are gamers who I made stuff for them just with their like usernames and that sort of thing, and I sent it to them. And I have friends as far as Calgary, Alberta, which is in Canada, and I made some stuff for them and sent it to them, and they were really excited about it. And some other kids have made logos. Seventh grader last year, now currently an eighth grader, John Dennis. Shout out to John. He made a Super Mario that turned out really well, and it was actually one that um, I showed off. So see, once I filled that in and it became a flat piece, it all went together. Now, just for the last one, this last outer layer, let's see. I want to see if I can get this all in one. I can. Cool. Oops, I clicked the wrong tool. There we go. This one's kind of curved. Let's see if we can get this. We can. Awesome. Yeah, if the curve doesn't have enough lines in it, it won't allow you to make it. And it's a little annoying, but it's probably just the limitations of the software. That's okay. We'll deal with it. We are almost there. Now, this is just another example where a mouse is definitely superior, because the mouse allows me to use like my mouse has a scroll wheel as many mouses do, um, which for going in and out is, it allows me to change the perspective very quickly. That being said, a trackpad still can zoom in, zoom out. It's just not going to be as efficient when you're doing a lot of small spaces like that. It's a lot less daunting. All right, let's see if I can do this one in one. There we go. We're getting there. I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be really cool when it's done. Right, and oops, wrong tool. That's not what we wanted. Not sure. There we go. Cool. So we've got our 2D image completed, but if we tried to print this, it's going to be basically just a, flat. That's not going to do anything for us. So what we are going to do is we need to start working on depth. And if you want these layers to be visible, what you have to do is you have to differentiate them, get them at different elevations. So we've got here, starting from the inside going in, we've got, this outer layer. We've got this middle one. We've got the ears we got to worry about, the eyes, the nose, kind of like this white, what was a white portion, and then these two. So you want to keep everything pretty uniform. So what I'm actually going to do, oops, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this over just to give me a color reference. So we've got the dark brown first, so we want to keep that all the same height. So what we're going to do is, let's see, we're in millimeters here. Sorry guys, doing some math. So 1,000 millimeters is a meter, so that'd be 10. So let's do this to 15. Maybe too much. Let's do 10. So what I did, just if you saw down here, the actual width will pop up over there. I can just type it in and hit enter, and it will, you know, look a little more like that. So next, what we're going to do, so that was the darker brown part. So let's do the same with the eyes. So 10, 10. Now we're going to do like the cream colored parts. So um, let's do, I feel like it'd look better if the ears went in. So let's try it with a 6. And then the kind of orangish or light brown or whatever you want to call that, we'll do, let's see if it will look a little better at 8. Right, so does that look better? Now I want to see what it looks like the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that one down and we'll raise this one up. to 8. And this one. Okay. Actually, I think I'd like that a little better. I actually am going to take the eyes down because they don't really need to be 4 millimeters above that. So I'm going to actually bring that down 2. This one down 2. All right. It's looking pretty good. So now as far as like the colors go, oh, we forgot the middle of the mouth there. We got to do that. So we'll bring this one up to the same as there. Or actually, no, we'll bring it up to the same as this one, just so it looks uniform. All right. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Very cool. 2 millimeter difference. Now, let's go ahead and delete the image. So what we've got now is a Corgi logo. It's looking pretty good. Now, if I want to get this set for printing, all I need to do is select the cursor, select the whole thing, and I need to make this one solid object. So I'm going to make this a group. I'm going to save it. And to get it as a file, I would just hit this and hit export. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this on the printer. I'm going to look through the comments real quick to see if there's any questions. So now is the time to ask questions. Let's look. All right. Yeah, see, I see some people interested in making the logos. Like you can do this. I've done text to logos. I've done all kinds of stuff. You name it. So we can actually do is I can during the next stream I'll pull up some other examples of ones that we've that I've done, just so that way you guys can see kind of what's possible with it. And I'll even pull up some ones that students have done, and these are 7th graders mostly, but there's been some 6th graders who've made stuff, 8th graders who've made stuff. They've done a really good job. It's all something that's really accessible. I know you guys can do it. Right. Okay, some other streams. Right, some questions. When will the next stream be? I'm not sure. I might do one. What's today? Today is Wednesday, right? So I might do one Friday. Um, so we could do Friday this week, and I'm gonna try and do at least 2 a week. Um, all you 6th graders have been doing the engineering stuff for a while, but you guys are going to be doing some more engineering stuff as time goes on. 7th graders just started on it. You guys are a week behind, not like that you were behind before. It's just you guys had more content than the 6th graders did before we got to the engineering unit. I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to do some cool projects in class. But we're rolling with what we've got. Um, at the same time, I'm anything that you guys make. If we come back to school, we come back to school. If we don't come back to school, we don't come back to school. I'll give it to you the first day of August if it comes to that. I sincerely hope it doesn't, but I don't make the rules. So looking at some more questions over here. Someone's asking if they can have the corgi. No, you cannot have this one. I will say, you know what? If I do print it and it actually turns out doesn't turn into you know, this, I could do a giveaway for it. I would have to come up with some type of, fair system. I'm not just the first person who asks, but um, put it this way, I don't know. It'd have to be someone who does all their work for one, because there's a lot of folks, guys. A lot of people have been missing some work. So go back through, double check them. Also, if you've done it and you didn't attach it and turn it in, make sure you've got that. I'd hate to see you guys lose credit for something that you did. Been very, very happy with the results of the quizzes. Just remember that you can take it infinite number of times. You can get 80%. Don't miss, you know, don't miss easy points. Just because you only wanted to take it once, you didn't want to take it a second time. I'm not gonna give it points if it's not 80%. You have infinite number of retries. So, just do your best, please. See some other people. Logan, that's pretty cool that you're making your own computer. I'm working on one that I built and going to be doing some upgrades. I'm currently on a sixth generation Haswell i5. I'd like to move up to the ninth generation. I might go for an i7. I'm not really certain yet, but it's want to save some money. Um, I'm looking here. Make sure you guys are getting plenty of sleep. Um, wow, we had 11 concurrent streamers right now, or concurrent viewers right now. That's really cool. That's almost double from yesterday. So maybe we'll get some more even later. Right. uh, so um, very cool, Logan. I'm seeing people talking about their mouse traps. I was very pleased with a lot of people's mouse traps. Um, Guys, make sure you're attaching the drawings for those. You can basically make it in another program and then just copy paste it, put it in, you know, um, into your document. Oh, on the subject of copy paste, guys, when it comes to the biographies, I got a lot of folks who are just copy pasting stuff straight off of Wikipedia or straight off of somewhere else. Um, Obviously, that's not acceptable. That's not your own work. It's okay to use those things as sources, but you need to put them in your own words. Now, if you do copy text from somewhere, you need to make sure it's properly cited. If you don't know how to do that, then you should probably not do it. Make sure you're doing the right thing. Um, well, guys, think I've got most of the questions there. Like I said, I'm probably gonna try and do a stream Friday. I don't know for certain yet because my schedule is a little weird with this whole thing. Even though you guys might be in your pajamas still, I'd still have stuff I gotta get done, and I do need to go into the building a couple times. But I don't think I need to go back this week, so I'm not really certain. Just because I've got to make, you guys have computers, but not necessarily everyone does. Some people are getting packets instead because they don't have, necessarily reliable access to the internet. So I need to make sure those are taken care of. But if there's nothing else for me, guys, hopefully this was a really good tutorial for both the logo making and for the uh, like making arcs and that sort of thing. A lot of it is just going to come down to patience. I kind of rushed through this one, and I see actually there's a couple flaws there, but I think this is going to be fine. It turned out pretty good, but it's a lot of learning this, guys, is just messing around with it. So that way you get something that's, you know, you don't want to put a bunch of work into it and end up looking badly because you rushed it. If you take time, edit it. If you have to redo it again, that's life. You'll get better at it the more you play with it. This isn't something that uh, you can do the first time and expect to do really complicated stuff. And even then, I'm not that great at this, but I've also been doing this type of thing for a really long time, both from an education standpoint, but I also um, have done some of this other stuff outside of school. So make sure you're taking your time with it. SketchUp's a really good program. If you don't want to work with this one, there's also Tinkercad, any CAD software. There's like 100 of them. There's plenty of resources out there. If you've got questions that I haven't answered in either of the videos so far, um, there's a YouTube video about it. Even the company themselves that makes SketchUp does lots of videos and live streams of themselves making stuff and doing really cool things. And I'm just really excited for to see the stuff that you guys make. And like I said, if it's printable, and we can get to it, because there are limitations to the printer. The printer's not perfect. I will do my best to print anything that gets submitted to me. You can either get the um, get the file, or just email it to me, or share it via your Google Drive, and I will print all the things you can. Will I play Roblox with some of you? No, I cannot play video games with you guys, not because I don't want to, but because um, that's um, we'll put it this way. Like, if you guys are playing games, I'm playing games. That's something that not everyone's folks are necessarily going to be okay with. And, even if they don't care, you say they don't care. I don't want to put anybody else in that kind of position where they get in trouble or I get in trouble, and, that sort of thing. But if you guys do want to communicate with me in Google Classroom or via email, the official school stuff, that's totally fine. But I can't play games with you guys. Sorry about that. Um, anyway, guys, you guys have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. If you have any more questions, just shoot them to me in the Google Classroom. Make sure you guys are getting your work done. That's the most important thing. And we'll work something out to see if we can't do some giveaways, because as far as the 3D printed stuff, I, I don't have enough room in my house. Well, I mean, I'm going to keep this one, but I can't just have a bunch of logos sitting around my house. So we'll figure something out. But you guys have a good day.